Welcome to another episode of Mindful City, Tuning into Life, a podcast to discover and celebrate the many ways that our city is using mindfulness in our practical daily lives. Welcome to another episode of Mindful City, Tuning into Life. I am honored and frankly happy to say that I have as our guests today two very special, I can now call friends. We have a returning guest, Jody, Kai.
Thank you.
And we have Cynthia Gomez. And they're here today to talk about the Gaia Revolution. And as you all know, I'm not good at introduction, so I always let the guests introduce themselves. But I'm so intrigued about what these beautiful ladies are doing and bringing to the table with the Gaia Revolution. And so we had to have them on the podcast to share this with the community. Not only Florida, but anywhere. Anyone is welcome to join this revolution. And so I wanted to start by asking you to share with us a little bit about what the Gaia Revolution is.
Thank you, Helen. Yeah. So the Gaia Revolution itself is facilitating and self-mastery through retreats, events, workshops designed to promote learning, healing, and growth. We are created so that we could call people home. We wish to call people home to themselves, to love, and back to tribe.
And that's really what the Gaia Revolution is all about, is facilitating self-healing so that people can reflect greater wholeness back to their families, their friends, and the world in general. That is how a revolution happens.
Yes, it is.
Ripples.
Ripple effect.
I would say it is time for a revolution.
Oh, yeah.
And specifically, what kind of a revolution do you feel is necessary? And you're using the word Gaia here. So explain to us a little bit the connection between Gaia and the revolution.
Do you wish to take that, Cynthia?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us can agree that there is a lot that is sick around us. The planet is sick. People are sick. So the Gaia Revolution is about making a commitment to heal. And it starts with us as individuals to heal ourselves, to look at the ways in which we can love ourselves into wholeness. Because when we do that, we reflect that back out to our circle of people around us. And we reflect that out to the planet. When we heal ourselves, when we feel more whole, we want wholeness around us. And so that is how we help ourselves, we help others, and we help the planet.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel that, because anyways, some of the interviews that I've already done here on the Mindful City podcast, definitely there's a lot of healing. But there's so many modalities that are out there. And there's so many methods of healing, not just the modalities, but methods of healing itself.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your take on that? And where do you stand as the Gaia Revolution in terms of healing?
It is endless. The opportunities of healing are endless. My perception and the perception of the Gaia Revolution is based on a vibration. There is no wrong format of healing. There is an unhealthy version of it based in a vibration of lack and shame. There are beings out there right now practicing quote unquote healing work that are in fact not healers. And they're what I refer to as given poison rather than the medicine. Mm-hmm. And it is up to the people to determine the difference. The Gaia Revolution is here to help that. We are very picky, not so much about the specific modality, however, about the vibration of the being stepping into the healing modality. It's funny. It's a perfect example. There was a person joining us for one of our retreats, and loved how excited they were I'm going to do all day long. I'm going to offer this work all day, nonstop, and I'm just going to give. And I stopped her and corrected her, and I said, "You're not, because that's not emanating what we want people to do. We want them to learn balance. Right. We ourselves need to emanate, and we already know we're going to stumble. We're going to have our issues too. However, when we check in and emanate the resonance to which we need to feed the other people, right? So it is an amazing gift to be a healer and give. However, if you're doing it to a place of depletion, if you're doing it out of lack, if you don't have anything to offer that person, or you're running on fumes, then you have to put yourself back together later on. And that's not what this is about. It's about teaching beings how to be sovereign, how to love themselves, all aspect of themselves.
And that is the reason why so many people need healing. Like mothers, sisters, we are taught that we give. That's just what we do. And so sometimes we give until our cup is just empty.
Beyond empty.
Absolutely. So this is about leading by example and teaching people to fill their cup, because once they do that, they are more able to give to others in a healthy and helpful way.
Yeah.
I love how you're sharing that, because what I'm seeing coming through in this conversation with you is that this is not only for those who need healing. You're also wanting to take care of the healers. It's really an opportunity to bring everyone together.
Yeah. Absolutely. We are all in this together. Some of us may be walking a little bit more ahead than others as healers versus the people coming who need healing, but we're all in this together. We're all in spirals of healing. Yeah. So we all learn from each other, and we all teach each other.
Yes. Yeah.
So do share with me and our listeners, what really inspired you to start the Gaia Revolution? What is it, your personal story in healing, and what inspires you to heal?
The people. They're starving for it. And I personally have been doing professionally healing work for over 18 years now. And I've been doing a lot of one-on-one and private work with people, and some small group trainings. And the capability to reach mass amounts of numbers, to draw people home to themselves, to not just, it's not about just the practitioner, it's about the community. When you come together in a community, they heal each other, right? You hold space. If the practitioner is offering medicine, the whole community and tribe comes together to support that. The ability to help more people, that's what inspired us. I know inspired me.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
How about you, Cynthia?
I'm the same. I am not a hands-on healer like Jody is. I consider myself a lifelong student of soul science. And so I've always studied the intersection of spirituality with, all the branches of modern science and knowledge. And what I keep seeing is this illness. And, by illness, I mean this lack of wholeness that presents itself across so many different areas of, so many people around us. And it kind of creates this spiral where like small ripples of illness feed bigger illnesses. And so, for instance, let me give you an example. If I don't care about myself and I am out there just eating trash every day and fast food, making plastic, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm not thinking about the planet that I'm leaving for my children. So it's like one cycle feeds the other. So I've always looked for ways to make an impact to help people be more aware of the areas in which they need to heal, because often they don't know that they need to heal. They don't know that they're broken. They operate in the way that they've always operated. Mm-hmm. And so for me, the Gaia Revolution is a great opportunity to help people come together with a commitment to do just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you envision bringing the Gaia Revolution to reality, basically, for the healers, for practitioners, for those that are needing healing? How do you envision the step? How do they begin their healing journey, and what will you be able to provide them, and how will you guide them on that journey?
Wow. So many avenues to that. As I was stating earlier, and I stumbled over my words, basically events, workshops, retreats. So we're looking from big to small, all avenues, right? Clearly having retreats, which is, just you're immersing yourself into intensives, big intensives, right? Yet providing small doses throughout too. We're looking to offer events and workshops, some, charged for, others as much as we can offer for free to the community, as much offerings as within social media and videos and audio healings. Getting people the information of how to do their own self work. And the tools. I also know that so many people struggle to do their own self-worth, work that they, I'm just as guilty of it, right? Like, get on your yoga mat and do some stretching. I got 20 other things to do. And then you finally do it and you're like, oh, that's what I needed. Okay. And so when you have somewhere to find that nutrition, that method and that way to feed yourself, you're more apt to do it, but we are, there's workshops in the mix. We have a really big retreat coming up in March.
Okay, tell us about that.
Actually, I'll let Cynthia do that.
Sure. So this is our inaugural event, and we're calling it the Lake Bryan Forest Retreat. So it's in Florida, in Lake Bryan, which is the second largest lake on the state. Right on the water, beautiful, surrounded by the Ocala National Forest. And we're offering a host of different modalities for people to choose from yoga to breathwork, meditation, art therapy, exploratory nature walks. So just creating an entire offering for 4 days, March 13th through 17th, so that people can come together. And this is a women's retreat specifically, so that women can come together and, heal in nature, heal amid the sisterhood of others walking the same journey with them.
Yeah. A safe platform.
Absolutely.
We're absolutely offering an all-male retreat as well as female and male retreats. Mm-hmm. However, building that platform of safety. We as a collective have gone through so much. The masculine and feminine energies have been really shooken to the core. And we're in a place of rebuilding. Mm-hmm. And during that rebuilding process, we want to give them the medicine to heal so they can come to a place of balance and peace within themselves, where so many other people are over attaching based on safety. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So they're making choices of characters that seem to serve them based on a safety. And oftentimes it's really just anchored into a wound that they're afraid to deal with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we want to offer them the opportunity and methods in which to heal those wounds, so that they don't have to show up in a way that's less serving.
And the coming together, the community part of it is so powerful, because sometimes, we look in the mirror and we are our own worst enemies. We see the things that, have been programmed into us that people have said to us that we decided to believe about ourselves. And so coming together in a safe space where we can share with others who are also doing the same healing work allows us to be authentic and allows us to be vulnerable so that we may see ourselves through the eyes of others and believe what we see. Because sometimes those stories, those personal stories we tell ourselves are so limiting. Mm-hmm. So allowing ourselves to open to the possibility that how others see us is a truer way of being.
A truer version of self.
Absolutely. More clarity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's been one of the greatest gifts in my own journey too. You know, seeing myself in one perception and then other people seeing me, even just sitting in front of you two ladies and the amount of love emanating and seeing, it's like, how can you think less of yourself when these beings love you so much? And if I feel less of myself in this moment, then I need to ask myself why. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and she was having a experience of deep sadness that came over her. And she really didn't have anything in particular going on in her life that would suggest that per se. But it was almost like a vision, like dream kind of experience. And she said that she felt the world on her shoulders, like the entire world and the heaviness of the world. I wanted to bring that up to you both because a lot of people don't think that there's healing for them. That's not something that they see as an option. Of course, all three of us have gone through enough in our lives to know that there's a possibility of healing, and that healing is also a journey, right? Because there's the healing, then there's other things, then there's healing again, and there's that, there's this. But people don't see that. They want to just make it go away. Just make it go away. What words do you have, for people that are kind of going through that experience that may feel that going on to a healing journey is work for them, instead of thinking, oh, it's going to help you, they feel it's not for me. I don't do those things. I can't do that. So what are your words? What would you say to them?
Well, interesting. I first need to call out what that is. Mm-hmm. And it's the human conditioning. Mm-hmm. And we live in a society that I like to describe it as a pulse. Mm-hmm. And the system has created a pulse that makes you feel confined and trapped, that you have to play by that pulse because everybody else is in that same pulse. And I understand the fear of removing yourself from that pulse. I think that's first and foremost, because when you choose self-healing, you're choosing to remove yourself from a conditioning that you were kind of force-fed into. And the layers that come off of you, it's the most rewarding experience in the world. Freeing. You can't even describe it. However, it's taking that initial transitional point to make those choices.
And I mean, it absolutely can be difficult. Healing can be incredibly challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. And so when you take into account what it's like to continue down this path of feeling completely unhealed and feeling the world of your shoulders versus, doing the hard thing and coming out the other end feeling free and lighter, why wouldn't you? But, we create our reality. So if we tell ourselves that healing is not something that's possible for us, then it's not going to be possible. You have to allow yourself to see the possibility of healing and commit to taking that first step and the next one after that. Mm-hmm.
You say that, and immediately I think of, it's the difference of living a colorless life versus vibrant.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
When somebody says the weight of the world's on their shoulder and they're willing to accept that colorless life, that I guess this is just the way it is. It's ho-hum. It's, this is what society and history, or their families and everybody else is told this is what it is. We're all supposed to do this over and over again every day, right? It's very colorless. And in order to make that shift, you have to choose to want to drink in the colors.
It's funny you say that, because I feel like that has been the biggest difference for me since having, taken that first step in my healing, is like the feeling of joy back in my life. Joy for no reason, just because I'm alive.
Yes. Yes. I just, before we sat down together this evening, I had a client that said basically they had no more joy. And I said, it's not that you have no more joy. I said, but the joy was was stored away. Mm-hmm. You hid your joy. You tabled it over there. Right. Instead of allowing yourself to have the experience in it. You're living your life from a place of obligation. Mm-hmm. Love has no obligations. Yeah. None. Love has no obligations. Love is an investment. Love absolutely. Is an investment.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel can the community, the mindfulness community, our listeners, our community do to support you in this revolution?
What is it one, I'd love to know what they think they need. Mm-hmm. Call out to us, right? Where do they, some people are conscious enough to actually acknowledge that they need meditation or yoga or whatever they think the medicine is, letting us know what that is.
Mm-hmm. We are facilitators, so let us know what it is that you need facilitating. Where is the healing that needs to be done? What tools do you need?
Yeah. And, where they're located, because we are looking to make this, really worldwide.
Absolutely.
We're looking all over, and we have retreats being planned. We've already been called to Cali and Massachusetts and Costa Rica, and so we're looking worldwide. We're looking for the tribe to show up and tell us where they are, and when we start to identify the pulse of where the dis-ease is, right? I don't even want to say the disease. It's where the misalignment is in their worlds, absolutely. Right? Everywhere in the world has a pulse. Everywhere. So I personally believe that, each place we go to is going to need a different level of medicine, right? Each place is going to call for something a little differently. And we want to show up with it to the best of our ability. Letting us know what they need is really important. Letting us know that they're willing to show up for themselves, that is huge.
Yeah, that's a big step.
That is, right?
That is the biggest step you can take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The ones that give a whole lot of reasons of why they can't, I can't reach them. Right. They just give me a whole lot of I can'ts. Mm-hmm. But when they say, gosh, that's what I want, I'm wondering how I can achieve it. Now we're on. Now you've given me hope. Now we can meet somewhere. I can find that. If I can't meet you on a price range on this one specific thing, then maybe I can offer you some other way. Maybe we can find a loophole somehow that I can get you there. Maybe you can be a volunteer. Maybe we can offer a workshop in your area. Maybe we can help community raise fundraisers for you. That's how Tribe works. Yeah. That's how Tribe
support
works.
Each other.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Grow together, heal together.
Yes.
And heal ourselves at the same time.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think it's a great focus that you're bringing that in and that you brought that up today, because I do think it's a beautiful transition we're all making, to really realize that healing is not a final thing. It is a journey.
It's an infinite thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, now I'm a healer and now that's it. But to also, to use some of your words, what you're saying is to when you're giving the medicine, you're also taking the medicine.
Absolutely. I mean, we're all walking each other home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm so honored to have been able to sit with you today. I look forward because I'm so excited. I get to join the retreat. So excited. And share a little bit experiences in practical mindfulness. And so I'll get to see firsthand how everything goes. And I look forward to working with you all again in the future and having you back on the podcast.
Yes, please. We look forward to having you.
I'm so excited.
So excited.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
To find out more about the Gaia Revolution, upcoming retreats, workshops, and events, visit the GaiaRevolution.com or find The Gaia Revolution on Facebook and Instagram.